This is Rafiq Luzon, and you are tuned in to Nothing But That Sports Talk. Oh yeah, we are back with Nothing But That Sports Talk. I'm Rafiq Luzon alongside Ryan Walker. How you doing today this morning? I mean, obviously we both had power naps prior to this episode.
Yes, indeed. Wavy Walker, the voice of Strong Allen in the building. Wavy World Podcast. You know the vibe already. Prime Wave live stream. Get your surfboard together. Boy, we changing the city up, boy. And the WatchList is out. Watch that Wavy World WatchList.
Yeah.
All
I'm just glad.
platforms.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you had some Canals representation on your watch list. I mean, you can't forget about my alma mater, which is literally right next door. And speaking of Canarsie, they're going to be taking on Eagle Academy Bronx in the quarterfinals of the PSAL championship tournament. So, yeah, I expect them to actually. Well, this is a revenge game for them. They took them on the semifinals last year. So, what's your take on it?
It's gonna be a good one, man. You know, the for the watch list per se, if it was last year, I would have had three. It would have been PJ, Xavier, and Devin. I think it was just two this year. I think I had Devin Clark, of course, who's having an amazing year, and PJ Singleton, who's one of the top players in New York City and state, clearly going full scholarship to Austin P Division One. And we know coming out of Canarsie, and Canarsi's had many collegiate athletes in Division One, but it's a to get to that type of program is a illustrious work. But in regards to the matchup with the Bronx, and speaking of the Bronx, that's the last borough that I have to do. I did Staten Island today and completed it. It'll be out soon. Uh H2O's talking about trying to do Jersey and Connecticut. I said I need a little break right now. Need a break from doing the list. It takes a lot of work and energy. But that's not the question at the point. The I think Canarsie has a really good chance in this game. In my opinion, to me, Canarsie is the better team. They haven't proven that on to say that against Eagle Bronx. Eagle Bronx, over the last few years, their program has been a really good program in the public school. They've been one of the best with them. Eagle, Brooklyn, South Shore has its times. Thomas Jefferson in there, and a few others. You know what I'm saying? But they've been pretty much. If we don't talk Eagle, Brooklyn, or maybe Jeff, especially with Jada when he was there over the last few years, we're always talking Eagle Bronx, who was always in the mix and disrupting too. Even when Jared and them was there, they were always competing in it, and they have a great coaching staff with Coach Rose and those guys down there. So Eagle Bronx should win the game. My mind says Eagle Bronx, but I really like Canarsie. I really like PJ Singleton. I really like Devin Clark. It would be beautiful to see them get to the championship game for the cities, and that would be a long time in a while. And so my heart and everything, I don't care. I'm going with Canarsie in a very, very tough game, but they must watch out for that young man. Is he on Eagle Bronx? I don't know if it's Jay Addison. I could be wrong, but I believe he's on the Eagle Bronx team, and I have to make sure that he's definitely on the watch list because he's one of the top scorers as well for the Bronx and in the PSAL. So they have a good team. They're well coached. They're tough. They're scrappy. They will play tough and scrappy. There's nothing that a Brooklyn school is not used to. Brooklyn Bronx matchup, and that's in Eagle Bronx, right?
Right. I'm looking at the watch list right now. Yeah, you got some pretty heavy hitters on the watch list, but I don't see the Bronx list. I do see a lot of heavy hitters from Eagle Academy Brooklyn. Yeah, no wonder why they got Dub Hunter, Jaden, Amari, Dante, Lee, Dylan. Man, those are tough names.
Tough names. And the crazy thing is they have a good player off the bench too. Or I'm not sure if he's off the bench as a starter. And I could have put him on the list too. This kid got a full academic scholarship to go to Houston University. I mean, not only are they superlative on the basketball court, but Kevin Hamilton and with the work of the kids on and off the court are putting themselves in position to go to big time collegiate programs. Hunter is going to Lemoyne, full scholarship. I mean, they're just all going to good schools, and Dante's a good player, Mayor's a good player, and they're doing so exceptional. And what else can you really say for the work that they're doing? But yes, that Eagle game is it in the Bronx?
Yeah, it's in the Bronx.
I wish you guys had the home court so bad. Cause I want you guys to get to that championship. It would be so sweet for Devin, who's a Long Island kid out of Brentwood, to see him go there and maybe at least PJ to get a shot at the city titles. That's a whole different illustrious realms, which I'm making sure I've taken care of my media passes times two this time. Shout out to my guy Lee Church, and so now that's another thing too. Going forward, I'll be having media credentials really flustered where it's going to be Baller for Peace, NYC Elite 32, Wavy World Podcast. And of course, my name. So I'm getting in the lane with the PSALs with that to make sure everything is good. Bayside put me on the list per se because I've been covering them and doing a good thing. So I'll be there Thursday for that 11 o'clock game. Bayside is playing. Oh Lord, I just seen it in the matchup. It's a good matchup for 3A. But Bayside is playing in the Final Four as well too. At York College. But I want Canarsie to win, so I'm going with Canarsie and I'm sticking to it. And they're my guys. But no disrespect, Eagle Bronx is a good team. I know what they're capable of. And the watch list for the Bronx is coming out soon. By the end of the weekend, it'll be out. Staten Island is Thomas has it. They're doing the production for it now. So it will be coming out by the end of the night.
Yeah, I hope so. I can't wait to see the names you have. And yeah, you have a lot of representation from schools really all over the five boroughs. It was even Long Island.
Yeah, well, see, that was the biggest point to it. As we go through every matchup, we still have high school, but that was the point where, and I even said it, and I did we have a live coming up on Monday where we're going to go more in depth to explain the point of the watch list, but we'll keep getting it out there as we got the buzzes and the roof, and it's done a great thing. Through all those posts combined, it's had over 110,000 views. Okay, the one for Long Island had like 40K, Brooklyn had like 35K, Queens had like 25K, Manhattan had 20K. So it's getting the love and the looks. But the point of the list is not a rankings. It's not to say Rafiq's better than Ryan's better than Rafiq. It's not one of those lists.
It's
It's a
to
list.
reveal all the top names from the top teams across New York City, across New York area in general.
Well, yeah, it's a watch list. It means that I have either seen you play in person or I've been monitoring you, whether via computer life or social life or EBA, or however the realms of it is. And you my eyes are very good. So when it comes to basketball, I'm not gonna I use more than one thing before I even critique somebody, and I give up about the benefit of the doubt. So that's just a watch list about seniors who are graduating and doing well, and upper class and lower classmen who are on the rise and will be doing well. And that's the form of the list right there, especially to give credit to a lot of guys that you don't have to be scoring 30 points, 25, 22 points a game to be recognized. I got a kid on there from Freeport Freeport didn't have a great year, Mr. Mitchell, but he was a great leader for his team and he gave it everything he had. He rebounded, he did the right thing, and he tried to put his team in a position to stay together and to be close knit. That was important to me. And I felt like he needed to get the recognition for that. But then I have kids on there that scored 20 something points a game. But then I have a kid on there that might have scored 5 points a game and 4 rebounds. But what's his importance to the team? And is this significance resulting into winning? An atmosphere, an attitude. So there's many things that go into it. It's not you're better than him, you're better than him. And then there's a lot of players with no disrespect to anybody's list, because everybody's list is hard work and opinion. It takes time. Trust me, I know my first realms of doing it now. I know how difficult it is. But sometimes the lists don't go broad to get everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some the big ones will go ESPN, us, but sometimes we'll give like 10 or 15 kids recognition. Nothing bad. I try to go with every list. Every list had minimum 20 players. Minimum. And our numerical number, we was actually going to try to go for 32 on each list, or we were going to start off with just small boroughs and go 16 and 16 to make it NYC Elite 32. But I was like, no, I get 20 names, and then I would get to like 14. I'd be like, yo, these 9 kids got to get mentioned. So if they deserved it, they were mentioned. And Long Island is completed. Queens is completed. Queens was the first one we started with. So Queens, Long Island, We did Brooklyn, Manhattan was the last one, and Staten Island will be out tonight. And a few days I'll work on the Bronx. And I think after that I'm gonna complete it. H2 was like, "Oh, where's your?" I said, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna go in the metropolitan area. We'll stop there." And once the 5 boroughs is completed, the next time a watch list will be out will be preseason rankings. So, if any players on top of what they said, what they will be saying, or coaches or anybody with the live with opinions, and all opinions, we want them in. I don't care if it's negative criticism, bring it. This is things that we can interpret the information, try to get better with it, try to work on certain things or see certain things, or we could use the opinion and not go somewhere. But we want to hear it, and in order to keep growing with this and the Wavy watch list and go from there. So the next forms of it after this Bronx list that comes out this weekend will be the preseason rankings of players. We'll make sure that it makes sense.
Yeah, it'll make sense. And if you want, well, this is to those that don't get ranked or not mentioned on Ryan's watch list. Don't get discouraged because you just have to keep. Because if you're not on the list that Ryan Walker been kind of organizing and put together with Prime Wave and the Ball for Peace, that means you have a lot of work to do in order to get any kind of recognition in New York City. And take it for a guy who never had a basketball career after trying out multiple times in Canarsie.
Yeah.
You have to actually have some kind of accreditation. You have to actually put into practice. You have to put in the work. The same way we put in the work on our media brands.
Yes,
and then if they want to bother with you just have to keep going.
Keep going, and then you got to remember this too. The watch list that also can mean I just didn't get an opportunity to see you. I didn't know. There were some people that would shout out to certain things beforehand, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. You're right." You know what I'm saying? That I made a form of a watch list that was the Wavy Walker. You'll look at it too. It says NYC and it says shh on it, and that shh list was literally through some of my analysis, kids that clearly needed to be on there. And I was like, wow, how could I forget this? Like, how could I forget Jace Paris from Lincoln, who's scoring like 20 a game? Like, how could I forget Richard Fernandez from St. John's Prep, who was leading them in scoring in single A for Catholic League and did a phenomenal job this year and wasn't on any like first team mentions for the other list for Queens. Like, it's crazy. Like, how could I forget I was blessed to go to see, and actually on Sunday I'm going to be going upstate, 7-hour drive to all the way up Albany. My good friend Jay Red, he's alumni from Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity has won Long Island for the NSCHSAA championship because Stony Brook Bears won the private championship, and so for their thing, Holy Trinity is up there playing against Canisius. If they win that, they're state champs. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going there Sunday, but I was able to do Long Island stuff with St. Dominic's. Who was there? St. Dominic's, St. Mary's, Holy Trinity, and one other program was there over the last few days. But I watched Holy Trinity, and let me tell you something. I told my man, I said, I seen 2 games with them in the eye test, and I was like, that's like the 6th best high school I've seen in New York State all year. No bull crap. Holy Trinity is for real, and they're that good. And they play tough. They share the ball. They're well coached. Their coach won. They get to their platform in 1 year. So there are some good teams out there. But there were some kids from there. I seen Tristan Thomas, who was a really good player. I'm like, how did I miss this kid in Long Island? And the 2 Westbury kid, Miles Reed, and the other kid, Reed is his last name as well too. It's Miles Reed and Ryan Reed, brothers in the backcourt at Westbury, doing so well for them. I had to go back into the archives. I announced these kids' games for a middle school classic at Westbury. So there's so many ties that I have with a lot of these kids and these players. They'll come back to me, John Walker, I had stuff with him in the past. So, that's the biggest thing about it and having the impact with the kids. Look at my good kids, Luca and Joe, those great kids from Bayside who's playing in the Final Four Saturday at York to go to the cities for the 3A. And nobody, even coach told me, he says, nobody has come over here to cover Bayside he said maybe 15, 20 years. Like the way I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? And you seen that interview we got with Luca and Joe, and I got another one coming out for Christopher Peñala, the senior, also on Bayside. Great kid. I remember him with College Point Cookers when they used to bring their AAU team also to Massapequa when we used to have the tournaments where they were crunch time and so on and so forth, the middle school. And to see those, I can't tell you how many times their parents, Joe's family, Luca's family, the head coach there, the family, the staff, they're like, Wavy, we love you. So much exposure you gave to the kids. You don't know how much you brighten up their lives. They're so happy. This is so great. They haven't seen anybody do this for them in like ever. You know what I mean? So it gave them great exposure. And I'm so happy to do it. And look, the kids, I called them yesterday after they won. They beat George Westinghouse, a very good, decent Brooklyn school in the 3A. And I am now like the personal Bayside media. So only 2 people can go for media for every individual team for what's going on this weekend, even though Queens College is still going to have a plethora of baseline media people. But you can have 2 personal medias that's like with your team coming in and everything. I am the first person on the list. So Bayside already put me down with that. I have that credentials and the other
And that's for
credentials.
this, and that's for later this week, right?
That's in 48 hours. That's this Saturday.
This Saturday. That's what I meant. But anyway, so proud of you for accomplishing an opportunity. Because it did coming from somebody that actually work. I know I've only worked in Queens College for like a few months, but I've got an idea of basketball being played, even when you're able to do game day operations for a mediocre or not so great basketball team. Most of these kids, they still give up to be in high school. No disrespect to them. But if you get played, you can get a play on Queens College. Just be glad you get any kind of basketball scholarship after 4 years of high school and the middle school and elementary school years prior to that. And the day lesson best when they honored him in Canarsie like a couple weeks ago. Practice basketball when nobody's watching.
Look at this cup right here.
Basketball when somebody is watching, and we're gonna get more into that a little bit later. We'll get more into that. Practice your basketball skills when nobody's watching. Because when you are practicing basketball while somebody is watching, it's going to help a lot. James Lester didn't become the all-time lead scorer in Canarsie without enough practice.
Hey, also too, you know her as well too. Since you said Queens College, Bria Hartley just got a coaching award for oh God, what's the high school she's at in the Catholic League? Oh Lord, because we did the media from her. I don't want to say the wrong school. I don't want to say St. Joseph's by the Sea. It's another school that she's with. But Bria Hartley, look into her. She was a very good player. She went to Queens College. She had the most points in a Queens College game in history.
Yeah, they honored her. I know they did honor. Yeah, I know they did honor her. I mean, they were supposed to have that game the night before, but obviously because of my class commitments, I wasn't there for that game. But I know they did honor her for having the most points in Queens College history. Shout out to her on that one.
And let's get to the rest of these matchups. What else we got? Eagle Brooklyn.
And of course, we got Forest Hills taking on Jefferson.
Yes, which once after this interview's done, I will be running out there. I got to get to Queens so we can get this stuff because we will be live streaming tonight. Please lock in with us. Live Prime Wave live stream. Wavy Walker with the voice of Long Island is going to be there, and we're going to live stream this. This is going to be a big time matchup. Jefferson, East New York, Forest Hills, out of Brooklyn, last year's champs. No Jada, but a very good team, and Forest Hills, the best team, best record in Queens, and one of the top teams in the city, trying to get to the city championships to keep solidifying the doubters, because they're and I spoke with Papa Tut on the phone this morning, Aaron Tut Pops. So they're ready. Everybody's ready. Everybody can't wait.
Yeah, high school basketball, man. This is it. This is really it. I mean, those are some of the matchups. Oh yeah, and Eagle Academy Brooklyn are taking on Susan Wagner.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Albano from Staten Island.
And you got a lot of kids from Eagle County, Brooklyn on your watch list.
Yeah, the whole starting five's got to go. Wait till I do Bronx, because the Bronx is going to be Bronx, Westchester County. The whole starting five for Steppin' X got to be on the list. Like how can I not put the whole starting five for Steppin' X on the list? I just
and then South Shore, they're going to head to Lewis Brandeis High School to take on Brandeis.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They're all good matchups. Jefferson can beat Forest Hills today, even though Forest Hills is the better team. So I expect Forest Hills to win the game, even though they are missing Zion, one of their very key players to their team. But Forest Hills is still good enough. Jefferson is, you know how they compete, so they'll be ready to play, and you know how they go already. But that's going to be a good game. Brandeis versus Eagle. No, Brandeis versus who?
Brandeis versus South Shore.
South Shore. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. I think South Shore is a little bit better of the team. They have Josiah Greaves. They have Levi Sylvester. They have Anthony Ronaldo. They have oh god, they have that other guard that is really, really, really special as well too. Having such a good year for them over there. So they're the better team. Their new coach.
Yeah, they have Levi, Anthony Panetto.
Pinello, yes.
Yeah, the class of 2027. Those, wow, you got some good kids from South Shore on that roster too.
Yes, Josiah Greaves, Levi Sylvester, Anthony, and like I said, and they have another guard. It was so hard. Like, sometimes you look at certain teams and the amount of teams they had another guard. I was like, oh God, I would want to get on it so bad. And I'm looking at the list. It's so crazy. But the future is bright. This is the tough part about it. But some will get in, some will get out. But they have a good team and they're well coached. Their coach, taking over. Coach Sean is no longer there at South Shore. He's he's got a exceptional position with the middle school kids on where he's at with developmenting and coaching. So this new coach was in, and a lot of people didn't give South Shore a chance. And shout out to my man Coach Blue on the assistant on the staff as well too. And they're all the guys down there. Nigel, I've got my man the big heavy set guy from South Shore, such a great coach as well too. All the guys that are locked in with the kids to try to, get them to the next level. So, big shout out to my man, Coach Blue. And we got next basketball. He got his league coming up soon as well, too. So you know how that goes when we at Cypress Hills. So they're all good matchups in the Final Four. And we'll have a lot to talk about for high school play at the end of the night and by the end of the weekend.
Yeah. And too bad this episode most likely get posted after the games, but
that's fine.
Mm-hmm. That's besides the point. At least we can listen for our intake on these matchups prior.
Yes.
Because this is important. It really is. All right. Now we transition a little bit because obviously the WNBA is still struggling with the CBA, but what isn't struggling is that it's having to make Brooklyn unrivaled. Me, right. Shantae, Harlot from Short Street Entertainment, and a bunch of other media professionals got a chance to attend that game where Mist and Phantom came out on top, and then Mist inevitably won the unrivaled championship in 2026, carried by New York Liberty star Breanna Stewart. And Breanna Stewart just continues to win. I mean, yeah, this past week, Unrivaled, you have, if you ever had a chance to check out an Unrivaled game next season, you have to check it out because
they're it seems so electric
because it built up, because it's literally giving you a sense of what the WNBA is during the regular season, giving players somewhere to play in the U.S. so they don't have to go overseas. Breanna Stewart and the Phoenix Guy did a hell of a job putting together this Unrivaled league. If you have not been to Unrivaled, something's wrong with you. Because there's more to women's basketball than just the WNBA's, the women's college basketball. There's a reason why we go there. You think it may look like something not worth going to, but if you get to know the league a little bit better, you will know.
What's even more super about it is that Breanna and Collier put it together. Mm-hmm. That's even more super. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that the players can compete, they can still get some compensation for it, and they can keep their mind, body, and soul out. So big shout out to them and what they're doing. And we know how we love Bria. She's a champion. WNBA.
Yeah, exactly. She carried the Mist to a confident win earlier this week. And Rika Guwar with the game-winning shot, beat Rika Guwar as she always is. A lot of clutch moments in college. I ran over that a million times, but that's one of the craziest sights I've ever seen women's basketball.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know that I've covered the women's champions classic 2 years in a row. They just announced that at the very least, Iowa, Tennessee, and Louisville will not come out to the women's champions classic next year. But UConn will. And they're going to have a big announcement later on to determine which of the 3 replacement teams are going to be. And one of them will give UConn a run for their money because we need that brand of women's college basketball to grow at the Barclays Center to continue bringing that WNBA feel, that women's Final Four feel early in the season.
100%.
We really need more of that.
For the athletes, absolutely. The ladies' game, which I'll give you great news too. Next week, Tuesday, we're going to have the Mary Lewis Academy School on the Wavy World Podcast show. They will be the first high school team ladies to come on the show, and the first group of, besides we had in the second show, oh God, what's my young lady's name? Queen Natalia. That was the first lady of any realms that we had as a guest on the show. Now we will have two players, Ava Thomas, one of the standout players in New York City for the Mary Lewis School. She was in that one-on-one thing as well, too, where Rose Simpson and those girls had all won. She's a
Oh yeah,
pretty
you
good
watch
player.
it. Oh yeah, that's amazing. And
Mhm.
Rose
Yes.
Simpson is doing well as well. Can't wait
Yes.
to see where she goes.
Brandeis, big time player, so she'll definitely have some things. We'll probably have her at the 20 Hoops event coming March 28th at Holy Cross. So big shout out to my man Maurice with that, with the women's and the men's game. So we'll be down there with that. He initiated my man Rashad. So yeah, that is that's good and that's key to have that down there so we can see how everything goes for this weekend. And also, I wanted to say too for a little clap moment before, because another 10 minutes or so, I'm going to run up out of here. Let's go, Duke.
Oh yeah, you can have that one. Obviously, we ain't scared, Duke. Anyway,
Gotta be scared. You just
while
got.
we're on the college basketball, just a little update coming up. I'm about to head up to Big East tournament to cover the semifinals of the championship game next week. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know for sure St. John's. Hopefully,
they should win that whole thing.
They should win the whole thing again. When they don't have to deal with UConn, that is, because they got steamrolled by UConn before, of course, winning the next two. And they came from to defeat Georgetown the other night. Shout out to them.
Most likely that'll be the championship game again. I'm going to be honest with you. They're the two best
teams. I wouldn't be mad about that. You're talking to a guy that was on a broadcast for that game not too long ago.
And if anything, I'm pretty sure as a St. John's alum, fan, everybody there, I'm pretty sure the players.
Yeah, there's gonna be some alumni. I mean, I'm not gonna be at the quarterfinals, but I will be at the semifinals and championship games. So look out for some of my interviews I get over there. And I would love to, and obviously I would love to. We'll get more to that, more to the content I'm going to do when I go there. But that's besides the point.
I know St. John's wants that matchup back. They got beat bad the last game, but that's not a true reflection of the St. John's team this year. And I pray it's not, because if they perform like that again, then they're in trouble. But they St. John's had a very good win against UConn at home, and UConn followed it up to give them an extra shellac and to say we're here too. Now let's see what happens if both teams can get to the finals, which they should, even though the Big East and conference play is anything. So let's see what happens. But hey, my Duke regular season title, number one, they'll be going in. I actually hate going in like this because now the pressure to win everything is like on you. But they have a good team, and my biggest thing for the year is this: I just want to play North Carolina tomorrow so we can kick their butts. Pardon my French. And I would love to win the ACC title, the championship, and whatever else happens from there happens. And we talked about March Madness. It's a very difficult tournament to win, no matter what you go in as, best players, whatever.
You're telling me Miami, Ohio was undefeated, and they barely in the conversation for a tournament.
Crazy.
There's no guarantee they're going to make the tournament if they don't win the conference.
That's crazy that they have to win their tournament off top to get the at-large when they're 30-0, and that should just be the
and they're ranked and they're ranked number 18, 19th in the country. Oh yeah, watch out for LIU. My other alma mater, we just fresh off a close win against Chicago State. They won a regular season championship. And obviously the semifinals against Wagner this Saturday. So look out for that. I love March, April, May, June.
Great time.
And in the end of the WNBA season, those are literally the best months of basketball.
And yes, and a quick back point too, as well, with March coming up with college. You'll be there next week, media. I'm going to be there player fan watching wise. I have great seats. I'll be there with my man Swinger Holloway, two Holloway's pops to do the games. So Big East will be there next week. I got a game to do next week in the Bronx sometime too as well. And and I got to record. We're recording the podcast on Tuesday because the Mary Lewis School is coming. So I got a busy week. I got the Mary Lewis School. I got the Big East on Wednesday. I was supposed to announce a game on Wednesday. I might go to the Big East first and then go run to the Bronx and do it afterwards, honestly. So, I was also going to say, yes, Chris Albano, one of the most best guards I've ever seen. Beautiful guard for the PSAL, senior year, doing a phenomenal job. Top player. But unfortunately, Eagle Brooklyn is a whole different ball game. I think one of their other players are hurt, but I mean, you would damn near need the Monstars from Space Jam to beat this Eagle Academy team. I mean, they're Stepanak, Lou High, Eagle Brooklyn, Holy Trinity. There's one or two I might be forgetting out. The Eagle Bronx is all really good too. I mean, those high schools are just really good. And so I don't know what else to say about that matchup, but we'll see how it goes. And we'll go from there. And then I don't want to give you a somber moment, and then we're gonna probably run soon. Um, it's a hard one to say. I found out yesterday, but I did kind of have a feeling on it. But Crash brother Patrick Poulard is no longer here. Rest in peace, his soul. He did finally pass away about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I found out yesterday. So the cancer got him, and Patrick is no longer here.
That notes. Just for the next episode, nothing but that sports talk.
Yeah.
Ryan Walker, Rafiku was on. We'll see you next time. God rest his soul, Patrick.
Patrick, yes, indeed.